So how is it going, everyone? Welcome to, it's a bit something different on the League of Europe channel. We've actually got a new championship starting. We're here for actually the Formula 2 cars. A big massive props to Dake or Tand and RJ for getting this one sorted out, because these guys are the organisers for the F2 League. I am J. Cole, your commentator, in case you don't know me already. As I said, we're here for the Formula 2 Championship. Works in a bit of a different way to what Formula 1 does. So how it's actually going to work is, as you can see, we've got a 30-minute qualifying that we are going to be doing. Then we, I believe, have a feature race after that, and then a sprint race. So the feature race, I believe, is only like a 25% race, and then sprint race is about, I think, 3 or 5 laps. And how it works is the calendar that we actually have for, well, that we actually have for this season. We start off with Bahrain, as you can see, as the first round. Then we have Baku. After that, we've got the Catalonia circuit. Okay, we are in Spain for that one. Then it's Monaco. After that, we are at the Paul Ricard circuit. The 6th round will be in Austria. 7th will be in Silverstone. 8th is in Hungary. Then we have Spa, Monza, Sochi, and the final one will be the Yas Marina circuit, aka at Abu Dhabi. So we can obviously see the guys in their teams at the moment. We have got Morgan and RJ in the Dams Racing team. We've got Cloudy Cloud and Dan in the Arts. Sarjet being the only one in the MP Motorsport, with James being also the only one in the BWT. I think he only just recently sort of joined it as well, so nicely done to him. Robert is in the Campos Vextech Racing, or the CVR, whatever you want to call it. Ibo and Racing at Home both in the Tridents, with Tam and Velocity both in the Carlins. And last but not least is Big W in the Charu Racing System. New name that I actually haven't seen before, Robber. I think he's the only one that's sort of making it so that he drives in the F2. So we'll go on board with him, because we don't know how his pace is. Sarge's just done his first lap of doing a 143.0. So we'll see how this goes. I'm not too sure exactly how the timings will go. It'd be interesting to see, that's for certain. But I guess we'll sit back, we'll wait and see how it goes with each of the championships. Ibo's only gone 8/10 slower than him, so I would probably say you're looking at around maybe the 42s, that kind of thing. It is the 2018 cars for F2, so I think they are still using older tyres, such as like the mediums being the white wall compound, the softs being the yellow compound, and I think super softs, or they're using the hard tyre as well. So we'll see how it goes. We have got Tand in the chat, so hello. Let me just get the stream linked in Discord, if it isn't already. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, we're still on board with Robert at the moment. He's just coming up towards now, actually, the end of the track. He's just already gone around the penultimate corner, down the long seeping straight as he comes up to the final corner. Velocity's gone the fastest, doing a 142.6. Here we go. Robert, we're locked up a little bit towards the final corner, but is actually going straight into the pits, so may have validated on his lap. We'll have to see. I'm not too sure. Who else is actually out on a lap? RJ. We'll go on board with RJ, why not? As he's actually just like come across the line. What's he going to set his time as? He does a 142.0. Funny enough, now the fastest lap so far. I'm looking for these drivers to sort of get maybe like a low 41s, maybe even a high 40s. I don't know, but we'll see. As I said, I'm not particularly too sure with the F2 cars as to what people actually end up getting. But Big W done 144.9. I think he's probably not going to be too happy with that, and they're going to go again. Meanwhile, we've got on board with Tams, who's actually just starting his lap in the Carlin. Actually, looking at it now, these F2 cars look very nice going around in Bahrain. They all do look very nice, especially the Carlin. But in fact, let's have a look. Yeah, so we've got Morgan on an outlap on the softs. Racing at Home looking like he's going to put on the softs. So we'll see. In fact, Dan is actually just starting his lap, so I'll go back on board with Tamed real quick, as I know he's just sort of on board in Sector 2. We'll keep on riding on board with him, but I will be back literally in the space of about a minute. So bear with me. We are back. Got some people in the chat. James saying good luck to all drivers out on track and have a great commentary. I certainly will, James. Thank you. Ibo is saying hi as he normally does. So hello, Ibo. Welcome to the stream. I know that you're also streaming at the moment, so I might peek in your POV at time to time. So Tam's actually gone the fastest, as I said, done in a 140.6 on the set of mediums. So that is a very fast lap. And then Big W's just actually improved on his lap, doing a 142.5. So nicely done from him as well. Whereabouts is he? Oh. I accidentally switched to velocity and see that he's just gone off the track completely. But Dan invalidated his first lap, so he's going to be looking to go again for his second lap. So in fact, let me just check. I have actually got that right about the rules before I decide to get that wrong. So RJ has put in the chat that they will penalise if people are going too slow on the formation lap. Yeah, so the format for the season is a 30-minute qualifying every week, followed by 2 races. The first is a 50% feature race, which will make drivers focus more on tyres, and the second is a 25% sprint race where drivers push flat out for the win. Points will be awarded to drivers as follows. If you get the pole position, you get 4 points, and if you get the fastest lap, you get 2. So the feature race will include, it's a normal sort of point scoring system as it would have been in Formula 1. So first would be 25, second 18, third 15, fourth with 12 points, fifth 10 points, sixth 8 points, seventh you get 6, eighth you get 4, ninth you get 2, and 10th you get 1. And as for the sprint race, you have the person that finishes first will get 10 points, the person that finishes second will get 8, third 6, third gets 6 points, fourth gets 5, fifth gets 4, sixth gets 3, seventh gets 2, and eighth gets 1. So only the top 8 will get points in the sprint race. Steering and panel consists of 3 independent drivers who aren't actually organisers, but if they end up actually, well, each steward reviews evidence independently and without communication to determine if they are guilty. If guilty party is found, whether it warrants retrospective punishment or just a reprimand. They'll obviously just share their conclusion. Guilt is decided by simple majority of 2 out of 3. If guilt and punishment is required, stewards decide from a preset list of possible penalties, which is most appropriate. And so obviously the penalties can be as followed. You get a reprimand, which is obviously just 2 penalty points, 1 place position penalty, which is 3 penalty points, 2 place position penalty, which is 6 penalty points, 3 place position penalty, which is 10 penalty points, and 5 place position penalty, which is 25 penalty points. You get 45 penalty points, you get disqualification. Qualifying ban, penalty points administered with discretion applied when a penalty, race penalty is insufficient. And penalty points can also be limited as follows: if you give abuse to each other in the chat, which is understandable, discrimination, repeated failures to attend races, late attendance to race sessions, and repeated communication, which is all understandable. You know, you don't want to be turning up to a championship where you just get abused completely. So, you know, you gotta have those rules in place along with it. But quite a few of these guys have already done their laps now. I think they're all looking to probably go on the soft compound tyre. for this 50% race. We've got Andrew in the chat saying Ibbo and racing at home in the podium will be awesome. Certainly will. As long as one of them two get on the podium, it would be very good to see them. In fact, I've just missed it as well. James has done a 1:41.5. Believe Ibbo is actually going in, so I'm not going to be able to see him do a lap. What about velocity? He's also making his way into the pits. Robber, I think he's on another lap. I think he is on another lap. So we'll stick on board with Robber. As he's now definitely not on a lap. Who else? RJ maybe? I've seen that he's gone faster. He's now done a 1:41.4, and I've now just witnessed RJ bin it. Nicely done. James going very, very, very slowly. I think just moving out of the way of people. What about Dan? Also going very slowly. I think he's run out of fuel. Yes, all these guys coming at the pits, other than Cloudy Cloud, who's actually making his way on a lap at the moment. So we'll stick on board with him. The current Division 3 driver at the moment on the Formula 1 side. Well, the rest of the guys, I believe, are just going into the pits now. So Cloudy Cloud being the only one that's actually just about to start setting his lap. Got old school in the chat saying racing at home. Racing at home. Just found some time here just to tune in to see Roster with Vettel. Yep, exactly. And you've caught that at the perfect time as well, Lucas. So nicely done on that one. Now we've got Cloudy Cloud, as I said, coming through Sector 2. I was going to say, is he up on his time? But he hasn't actually set a time, so I won't be able to check. But how's it looking? 1:18.4 so far. I'd say that would be probably between sort of like Big W and Velocity. I reckon it'd be sort of like a mid to high 1:42 at the moment. So we'll see, we'll see. A lot of these guys are now doing their outlaps at the moment. A couple of these guys going on another set of, well, carrying on with their mediums that they were on to start with. Cloudy Cloud comes across the line and does a 1:44.3. It's a lot slower than I anticipated, actually. So, a bit interesting. Interesting to say the least. Let's see. Sarja is just starting his lap now, so we'll stick on board with the Finnish driver. As we've got quite a bad camera angle for that. That's a lot better. Coming through Sector 1. Is he going to be up on his time? Let's see as he comes across it now. He's only just shy of his time in Sector 1, so maybe this could be an improvement. I mean, he's just ran very, very wide going through the S section. So hopefully he hasn't invalidated his lap. We can't actually check, so it's a bit of a bummer. Gets a nice exit coming out of the hairpin as well. DRS wide open for Sarja, comes across, or comes around, he's swooping left-hander into the long right-hander now. Is he up on his time as well? Let's see. He's actually 1 second up on his time, and I know Sarja is pretty good at Bahrain, so maybe look for him to be up with the likes of James, with maybe even RJW as well. We'll see. We'll see. Sarja is now just coming around the final corner. It is going to be improvement, but he's just gone very, very wide. And hopefully that hasn't invalidated his lap. It hasn't. He's done a 1:42.5. But that definitely did hamper his lap. We've gone back on board with... In fact, we've gone on board with Ibbo because he's on a lap on the soft compounder tyre. So he's looking at improving on his time as well. In the beautiful coloured looking Trident. RJ not too happy with Lucas in the chat. But Ibo is 1.3 seconds up on his time. So him being that, where would that put him? That would put him in between sort of Robber and Sarja. So we'll see where this improvement puts him as he comes up towards the line. He has set a 142.2, so he actually went a little bit faster as well, and is ahead of Big W, currently sitting in P5. Nicely done for Ibo. Have yellows in sector 1, I don't know who that is. I found a culprit, it is James. Spun around in the pink Arden car. Sorry, I just had to check because I don't actually know most of them until have 2 cars. Looking like it's a bit fixed to me though, the 2 organisers are first and second at the moment. Maybe it's got to change with these guys. We'll see. We'll see. So Lucas having his prediction of 3rd DNF, 2nd DNF, 1st DNF. So no one's going to finish the race. Fair play. Oh, RJ getting a little bit tricky out on the exit of there and goes straight into the pits. I think these guys are just riding around in their fucking car, in their cars just for a bit of fun. I do apologise for the language. But Robber has just improved on his time ever so slightly, but still remains in P8. What about James? Goes into pits. So yeah, it's just only Robber that's really out on track, that's just doing a lap. I don't know if he's actually setting a lap or if he's on an in lap. He did have a little bit of a lock up going into turn, what's that, turn 4? Yeah, turn 4. He's actually 2 tenths off on his time, so he is looking like he's about to set a better lap than what he did last time. Goes a little bit wide on the exit of the S section, has a little bit of lock up into the right hand hairpin, but doesn't know that that's going to hamper him too much. Now it's coming up to this corner is where it is a nightmare without ABS. Tiny little lock up, but doesn't look like that's affected him. Gets a nice exit coming out of the left hand hairpin. Corrects his DRS wide open. Gets a nice entry and exit out of that corner as well. Has a little bit of a wobble though, so I don't know if that's gonna help with his timings or not. In fact, it does. He's actually 7 tenths up on his time, so where would that put him? Him being 7 tenths up, I put him in P4 as of now. But that depends if he carries on, because he could just go swoop into the pits. Let's see. He carries it on, Robber. He does a 141.5. In fact, he goes just ahead of what James has done. I'm expecting to see quite a few of these guys now start setting laps on the soft compounder tyre. But we've got Morgan out on a lap at the moment, the other Dams driver. His teammate is currently in P2. So we'll see where Morgan ends up finishing. Or ends up qualifying, sorry. We have still only got another 8 minutes left of qualifying to go. Already 22 minutes down, so we'll see how this goes as Morgan is just coming across the final corner now. He carries on with his lap and he does a 141.0, so bests his teammate and goes into P2, only 4 tenths behind Hand. Nicely done from Morgan, racing at home, does a 144.6. I know he can definitely improve upon that lap, and I'm sure he definitely wants to improve on that lap. As RJ's just deciding which tyre he wants to go on. Who else we got on the lap? Sarja. Yep, Sarja's just starting his lap now. Racing at home, just moving over just to let him go. But let's see, is Sarja improving on his time? He's currently 2 tenths down on his time, so it's not looking like it's going to be an improvement unless he gets some sort of miracle going. Currently yellow's in sector 1, I don't know who that would be. Oh, I've just seen Racing at Home just spin it in the background as well. So Racing at Home is probably going to want to try and get in the pits as quick as possible, get back out on the soft compounded tyre. Heated in the chat just saying why is quali session so long? It's like the actual F2 cars, so they normally have like a 30-minute qualifying session, followed by I think it's a 100% race, followed by like I think it's a 10-lap sprint race or something like that, but I don't know. But Morgan has actually gone faster than Tam and has done a 140.5. So it's a good effort from Morgan. Is Sarja improving on his time? He does. He goes and does a 141.9 and goes ahead of Dan. But Morgan now ahead of Tam. So we'll see. Is Tam going to come back out on a set of the mediums, or is he going to come back out on a set of maybe soft compound? But is that someone with a puncture? Hold on a second. Is that RJ? No, Morgan. Has he got a puncture? I saw a lot of shredding coming off of that car. I can't see anything that looks like that's a puncture. Interesting. But we've actually got Big W that is now out on a... Well, he's on an out lap on the soft compound of tyre. So him and Ivo will be the first two to set a time with the softs. In fact, let's have a look. What have they done with their time? So yeah, Ivo's the only one so far that has set a time on his soft compound of tyre. Sarja, I believe, is going to make his way into the pits as he goes very, very wide. Coming out of the second to last corner. And yet Sarja making his way into the pits. What about Morgan? Going very, very slowly, so he'll be making his way into the pits. So Big W is the only one that's actually going to be out at the moment, and will probably be the first one to set a lap on the soft compound, obviously other than Irbo. But you can see a lot of these guys now just changing their tyres over to the soft compound of tyre. So we'll wait and see how these guys go. Racing at Home's now on his out lap, and same with Robber. And now Dan and Velocity. So yeah, all of these guys now coming out just to do their final laps on the soft tyres. This is where we will see these guys get down to the business end of the grid. Tand also going for the soft tyres. I believe Ibo is going out on a medium tyres. So we'll see if he sets a quicker lap than what he has done. But Big W now starting his lap on the soft compound of tyre. As we're watching Big W, he's currently 2.5 tenths up on his time. I mean, surely he would be able to do a faster lap than what he's done on the mediums currently. But it looks like a lot of these guys, maybe even all of these guys, are opting to go for the soft compound tyre. I'm surprised Tamd and RJ haven't gone back out yet, and same with Morgan. All three of those top guys, I'm surprised they're not out maybe just trying to set a faster lap. Although saying that, Tam now out on his lap. I think Morgan and RJ are about to make their way out of the pits as well, and I think also same with Cloudy Cloud. So all these guys are opting to go with the soft compounder tyre. Just depends who set up better and who's going to be a lot quicker. As we're still on board with Big W, he's currently 9 tenths up on his time. With that 9 tenths, that will put him up in maybe P3, P4. We'll see. As it is looking like it is looking like a quick lap. Could one of these guys actually end up getting in the 39s? We'll see. Those top 2 guys have done theirs on the mediums. Already almost a second ahead of everybody else. As Big W goes P3 doing a 140.8, so he did improve on his time by quite a margin. So yeah, I'm expecting these guys maybe to go even in the 139s then. We will see. We will see. Robert is actually currently on a lap as Big W has a slide coming out of turn 1. But Robert, yeah, it just looks like there's a load of rubber coming off of their tyres going through there. I don't know what that's about. No idea. But quite a few of these guys are all sort of bunched up together. You've got Velocity, who's just behind. Is that Dan? Yeah, he's just behind Dan. And then Dan is only just behind Robber. No, not Robber. Who was I looking at? Racing at Home. And Racing at Home's actually 2.5 seconds up on his time. So with that, that puts him, what, P7? P8? As Racing at Home makes his way up to the line, what does he do? He does a 142.1 and goes P9 just ahead of his teammate, but Dan has just improved, Velocity has just improved on his time majorly. What about Dan? Dan, I think, is now going to be doing his actual lap. He may have invalidated or it may have just got a little bit slower than what he had anticipated. What about Cloudy Cloud? He's just starting his laps now. Ibo's gone into the pit, so I think that'll be his final one. Tand, Morgan, RJ, all on their laps now. Big W, the best he can do is now P3, so we'll see and we'll wait and see if that is where he stays. But with these top 3 guys, Morgan, Tand, RJ, maybe even the likes of James, even Robber. As I say that, James goes P3, so did prove me wrong. Sargent does a 139.7 on the softs. What a lap from Sargent. I told you he's good at Bahrain. We'll see if he challenges the likes of Morgan, Tam, RJ, as they're all doing their laps now. And that's Morgan, who's just run extremely wide coming out of the left-hand hairpin. Hopefully it doesn't affect his lap or anything, but Tam, 139.5, goes 2 tenths faster than what Sarja has done. Meanwhile, let's go on board with RJ as he's about to make his way across the line. Coming out of the final corner now, it is going to be an improvement. Is he going to best Tam? He doesn't. He does a 140.0. Wow. Let's see, Morgan said he was 6 tenths down on his time, so I don't think it's an improvement. And yeah, Morgan's going straight in towards the pits. So Morgan not improving on his time. Robert is the last one to make it across the line as he's coming out of the final corner now. Is he improving on his time? He just goes straight into the pits. So there we have it. Tam being your first pole sitter for the F2 Championship. With Sarja down in second and RJ in third. I'm sensing a little bit of deja vu here from last season for the Formula 1 Championship. Everyone in chat saying, dear commentator, do I get 4 points if pole in reverse grid sprint race? I don't think that is the case, Evo. I think it's more of you'll just be there. There you have it. That's the F2 qualifying. 30 minutes are up. And there you have it. Tamed on pole. So he gets the 4 points. With Sarge in P2, with RJ third, B Morgan in fourth, James in fifth, Dan in sixth, Big W in seventh, with Robert in eighth, Velocity in ninth, Racing at home rounding out the top 10, and Ibo and Cloudy Cloud starting outside of the top 10, and I believe they get to use whichever tyres that they would like. So we will wait and see, as we will have the first 50% race that will take part very shortly. I was waiting for these guys to do their strategies. I'm not too sure how it would be. I think it would probably be like a softer. Well, I don't know what tyre compounds there are. I don't know if there's going to be super soft, soft and medium. I'm assuming because it's a 2018 cars, there will be an option for super soft, soft and medium. Especially with a lot of these guys qualifying on the softs as well. So I guess we'll wait and see. As these guys are now just getting underway with their formation laps. Let's have a look. What have the back two guys gone on? Ibo and Cloudy Cloud. They are on. Ibo has gone for the medium and Cloudy Cloud has gone for the soft tyres. So this will be interesting. Morgan is in P4 on the mediums. I didn't even actually notice that to start off with. So Morgan definitely one to look out for. So we'll see how these guys will get on. Not just only in towards turn 1, but the rest as well. So in fact, we're actually starting off with the 25% race first. Or is this the 50? No, this is the 50% race, sorry. Apologies about that. I think the 25% race will only consist of 8 laps, but yeah, this will be the 50% race. Sarge's just run very, very wide in the hairpin. These F2 cars do look quite nice. Not a fan of Bahrain during the daytime, no. But yeah, all of these F2 cars, they do look quite nice. Just scrolling through them. But I'm looking for Tam to probably come out on top. You might get Morgan or RJ that will be sort of just behind them. So I don't know. It's tough to call. It is very tough to call because you don't know how these guys are going to do on. I don't know. I put the telemetry on because there's no telemetry that shows up. But I don't know. It's tough to call. It is very tough to call. I'm going to see if I can quickly swoop in on Ibo's point of view though. See if I can catch it real quick. See if I can find it. Ibo Paul. Here we go. So just waiting for the rest of these guys to make their way up to the line. I will quickly go on board with Cloudy Cloud as he will be the last. Well, Ibo will be the last one to make his way up there. Here we go. We have the 5 red lights. And away these drivers go. Tam looks like he's got an excellent start, but it also looked like Dan got an even better start than what these guys have done as well. B Morgan not going to get the best of starts only because he is on the hard compound tyre, but has overtaken his teammate as a driver that's looking to go all the way down the inside. But Dan and James side by side of each other, and Dan manages to get past the Arden driver. So nicely done from Dan, now up into P5. Big W and, well, Big W looks like the biggest loser out of the lot of them. I think he's just sort of staying behind him at the moment, going down the inside of the Trident driver. Still side by side, the pair of them. And someone spun, and that's Dan. He had such a good start, and he spun it already. Oh, it's unfortunate for him. We've got this little battle up here. I think there's Cloudy Cloud and Robber. As Robert is all over the back of Cloudy Cloud. Cloudy Cloud getting a little bit of a wobbly exit. That's going to compromise him and give Robert the opportunity to get up into P7. He's already gone past him, and I believe that has moved on already. Racing at home, looking to try and go around the outside, but not able to do so. Cloudy Cloud looking to go back down the inside of Robert. They're both still side by side, and has already gotten past him. So that was a really good switchback. As Racing at home just behind, trying to go down the inside of Robber. Cloudy Cloud goes very wide, compromising his run, and now hit. Oh, please don't go 3 wide in this. Okay, thank God they didn't. Racing at home, it just looks a little bit out of shape, allowing Big W to possibly try and go back through. They're both still side by side, coming up to the final corner. But I believe Big W is out ahead, and it's going to look as if it will stay that way. A little bit of contact between the pair of them, but I don't think Racing at Home could really do much about that. And that's also allowed Robert to go past Racing at Home. There's a car going very, very slowly. That's Sarja. I don't know what's happened to Sarja. I did see there were yellows, but oh, Racing at Home trying to go down the inside of Robert, going down the start-finish straight. It looks like it's just Noah's Ark going 2 by 2 with each other. I can't really see it because it gives really bad camera angles as well, but Racing at Home. And Cloudy Cloud's just gone off at turn 2. And Big W now back up into P6. So it's unfortunate for Cloudy Cloud because he got a really good start. He was all the way, he was down in last. But it has definitely not been a good day for the Art drivers. A pair of them down in 11th and 12th at the moment. Already a pair of them making mistakes. And speaking of that, Robber has also put himself into the wall and lost half of his front wing. So the debutee of LOE being Robber, not having a good race so far. Sargent now back up into 8th, has managed to pass Ibo. And Velocity and James are also in a battle. Velocity managing to get past James down the DRS straight after the hairpin left. But meanwhile, RJ is all up the back of his teammate of Morgan. Morgan in 2nd on the medium compounder tyre. So he's doing exceptionally well considering that he's on the medium tyre. But Velocity, yeah, he's now just well ahead of James. So Velocity now up into P4. Meanwhile, Sarja just all over the back of Racing at Home. And no Racing at Home, he's not going to give this one up lightly. But Sarja is going to have a bit of a task to try and get ahead of him. Will he be able to make the move on the Trident driver? Tam still setting the fastest lap, has already made a 2-second gap to Morgan within 2 laps. So Tam looking to run away with this race. Sarja now in the slipstream of Racing at Home. He's going to look to go down the inside. Racing at Home trying to cover that off. Now going to try and go around the outside of him, going in towards turn 1. A pair of them still side by side, and I believe Sarja has managed to get the move done. Racing at Home just breaks it a little bit too early, and that's compromised it. Sarja now up into 6th because Morgan has just spun. He was doing so well up in P2 and is now down into 10th. So unfortunate for the Dan's driver. Meanwhile, back up ahead, Racing at Home with Sarja. This battle is not over between the pair of them yet, as they're both also caught up to the back of Big W. Big W looking like he's going a little bit slower than these guys that are just behind him. Sarja all over the back of him. So we'll see if Sarja's going to get the move done on the Shrew racing system. He will have the DRS though, whereas Big W won't. So Sarja maybe could, well, he's looking to see if he can get his move done quite quickly, but looks like he's a bit too far back to be able to get the move done. I think he may have just compromised his run coming out of the hairpin left. Meanwhile, Morgan still hanging on in there. I don't think he broke any of his front wing, so he's looking to carry on. That is for sure. Still sticking sort of just behind Dan. And in fact, I think he may try and go move on Dan. These guys battling in D3 intensely last season, but they're just sort of hanging back with each other. Morgan breaks a little bit too late. Luckily avoided contact with Dan, but has compromised his run and has actually got himself a 5-second time penalty for it. More you know. Back on board with Sarja. Still not close enough to getting a move done on Big W, but we have got the second DRS straight coming up now. And Racing Home's just been given a 3-second time penalty for having multiple warnings. So, unfortunate for him. Ivo has just lost himself 2 places. I don't know what has happened to Ivo. I think may have just got on a really bad exit coming out of turn 3, which is now putting him in the 10th. Still in the points, so decent effort from him. I think I was Racing at Home just behind that, just had a bit of a bad exit coming out of turn 4, but still cracking on with the race. But Dan and Morgan are right on his tail, but not as much as what Morgan is on Dan's tail. Is Morgan going to try and go for a move on Dan? He's sticking on the inside of him. So I'm going to go on board with Morgan, as it's now a three-way battle for P7, Dan and Racing at Home. Worse side by side going, and there was a hairpin left, but Dan thought better of it to back out. But that has compromised his run massively from Morgan. The pair of them have got DRS, but Racing Home's definitely got DRS on him. Sarja went extremely wide from Big W and is still down in 6th. Stick on board with Morgan as he's looking to go down the inside of Dan. Swooping around the right-hander, trying to go around the outside of him. They're still side by side of each other, but I don't think Morgan's going to be able to get the place done. But Dan did have a little bit of a lock-up, which will compromise his run. Morgan looking to see if he can go back down the inside of Dan. There we go, got the slipstream from him, but not able to do so. Dan having another little lock-up, so that again, that's going to compromise it. Morgan will have the DRS on him. I don't know if Dan will have DRS though. I think he will. So it's not going to be entirely bad for him. Yeah, he does have a DRS, but Racing at Home, the first one to make a pit stop. But there you go, Dan lost the position to Morgan, but it looks like it's not over yet. Dan trying to go back down the inside of Morgan. A little bit of lag between the pair of them, but nothing too serious. And there's Morgan staying in P7, so nice job from the Dams driver. I think this is probably the closest battle on track at the moment, so Dan almost locking up into the back of Morgan. That's very close between the pair of them. Meanwhile, Sarja all up the back of Big W, the Cheru Racing System driver. And Ivo's actually just left the session. I'll quickly go to his POV on my screen and see what's happened with him. I think he may have just lagged out. Yeah, he's just lagged out. Oh, so is Sarja. I hope not everyone's sort of lagged out, but that's now... Oh, Velocity's crashed. Oh, Velocity's binned it. Oh dear. What was Sarja getting the error message? Same with Ivo. The pair of them got the error message. I won't be able to... I don't know if... Can I invite them back in? I haven't got the option to. Cladding Cloud's just also left the session, so I'm guessing he's also just lagged out. Not a good day. But Morgan now in the DRS of Dan. Dan hasn't got any DRS. Morgan, I don't know why I said Dan, it's Big W. Morgan going down the inside of Big W, makes that pass nice and easy, and as Morgan now back up into 4th. He's looking to see if he can get redemption for what he done on the, I think it was the second lap, third lap. Trying to make his way back through the field. He has got a bit of time he wants to gain if he wants to do that though. He's 15 seconds behind Tand. And that is quickly growing. In fact, it's now about 17 seconds behind Tand. I think it was 16 before, but yeah, now it's about 17, so... Morgan has definitely got a task ahead of him. He is going to be pitting later on what these guys will. But has James made a mistake? Or was that... I'm not too sure what that was, but I can see James sort of just jumping around quite a bit. Sarja's now back in the session, which is good to see. Is Ibo back in the session yet? I'll quickly check Ibo's point of view. I think he's just trying to join back in the session as we speak. But meanwhile, Dan up now at the back of Big W. There's Ibo back in the session, so that's good to see all these guys managing to get back into the session. But yeah, Dan coming up to the back of Big W. I'm sure these guys are going to have to make their pit stops relatively shortly as well, so... We'll see them pitting probably either this lap or in the next couple of laps. I mean, there you go, Tand and RJ. Top two are in the pits. I'm expecting James to probably follow them. No, he carries on for one more lap, so promotes James up into first at the moment. Is Big W going to be making his way in? He is for certain. Dan following him. Will Sarja. In fact, Sarja's lagged out once again. Hopefully Evo doesn't lag out again. There we go, Sarja back in. Is Evo back in? I think he's trying to take control of his car. It's not. Is that not allowing him to take control of his car? Oh dear. These guys can't take control of their cars. Although it says Evo's back in his car now. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so Evo is now back in his car. What about Sarja? Sarja's car's in the pit. I think when I just noticed it for you, Evo, is when you when you cross the line, it allowed you to take control of your car again. So maybe that's what you have to do, Sarge, is just sort of wait until you cross the line again and then just keep on trying to take control of the car. That's the only thing I can suggest. But Big W and Racing at Home now both side by side of each other going into the S section. Oh, this is very tight between the pair of them, but good racing with Dan only just sort of sitting behind them, but Big W going down the inside of Racing at Home. Oh, a little bit of contact, and that's avoiding. Oh, there's nothing that Dan could have done to avoid that then. I think Big W is just trying to squeeze Racing at Home as much as possible, and I don't know. I don't know what to think of that. I think that was more to do with sort of what happened with Big W. And he's now retired from the session. So unfortunate, because he was having a decent race up until that point. But I mean, at least we still got the feature race, or the sprint race, sorry, to go. So, which I believe is an 8-lap race. But everyone's sort of made their pit stops now, other than the medium runners that started on the mediums. So we'll see how these guys get on. Ibo now into P4, Morgan in first, but is 17 seconds ahead of Tamt, and that is rapidly decreasing. Obviously with Tamt being on a fresher set of the medium compound tyre. Cloudy Cloud and Sarja are currently in the battle. Oh, I'll say that. Sarja's gone into the pits, Dan's gone into the pits. Pit for a new wing. Again, there's nothing that Dan could have done. I'm surprised Sarja's back in the pits though. Unless he may have hit one of them as well. We'll see, is he going to get a wing changed? He is. So he may have been involved with that incident as well. James coming up to the back of Ibo. Has a massive lock-up going in towards the hairpin. Has compromised his run quite a bit, so we'll see if he's going to be able to get a move done on the Trident driver. I'm expecting these guys on the mediums to probably pit sort of around lap 10, maybe lap 11. That kind of, maybe. We'll see. They may even be able to take the softs to the end. Who knows? Who knows? Tams now has just set the fastest lap, doing a 142.4. So he is rapidly gaining on Morgan. Already brought the gap down by half a second just from that one lap alone. Ivo trying to go defensive against James. We'll see, will James be able to get past Ivo? It doesn't look as if he is close enough to be able to get a move done on the Trident driver. Ivo does run wide, and so does James though. The pair of them running very, very wide, and Ivo just well, that compromised his position. He's now down into P5, unfortunate for Ivo, but yeah, which is very unfortunate. RJ picking himself up a 3-second time penalty. Closest guys on track though are racing at home in velocity, but they're sort of got like a 2 second gap between each other. So we're a bit of a sort of dull period at the moment. Halfway through the race, a couple guys still need to make their stops. A couple guys have already done their stops and just going towards the end of the race. I'm more looking to see when Morgan is going to make his pit stop, because that can be interesting where he comes out between sort of Tamd and RJ, may even come out just behind RJ and have a battle towards the end of it. But Tamd is still decreasing that gap rapidly. He's now brought that gap a second down from the last lap, so he's now 15 seconds within Morgan. So he's definitely in the net lead at the moment. It just depends, is RJ going to be able to overtake Morgan, or is Morgan going to come out ahead of him? And Morgan comes up just behind him, he will be on a fresh set of the soft tyres. Oh, RJ spun. He spun it coming out of turn 3. Morgan definitely will be ahead of him now then. So whereabouts is James? James is only a couple seconds now behind RJ. Both of the Dams drivers have both had a spin. It's not going well for the both of them. As Robert is back in the pits, surprisingly. Stuck on a set of the mediums and off he goes. But racing at home has caught up almost to the back of Ibo. He's only a second behind his teammate, and I don't think Ibo exactly is going to try and defend from his teammate, so we'll see. Has Ibo just moved out of the way for him? He is holding the inside line. So we'll see. I think Ibo might be defending from his teammate. If it does run a bit wide, it's going to compromise him a little bit racing at home. And he runs very wide again, so yeah, I think Ibo's just sort of said just have the place. So Ibo now down into 6th position. If he does decide to pit anytime soon, he will probably come out just behind Cloudy Cloud, maybe even ahead of him. But Morgan has pit. Where does Morgan come out? He's behind RJ. He's behind James. Interesting. Ibo does make his pit stop though. So he does come into the pits. I am quite surprised that Morgan is out behind James, considering RJ had that spin. Wow. Fair enough. But just watching it from Ibo's point of view, he's just had his wing changed. And it looks like the guys at the Trident team are taking their time to get that pit stop done. About 16 seconds for that pit stop. Wing change and tyre change. But Ibo has gone on a set of the soft compound of tyre. Sarja is only a second behind Robber. Robber is obviously on a fresh set of the medium tyres, but Sarja being on the softer compound, I think he will look to try and get this move done relatively quickly, as also Morgan is only almost within a second of James as well in the Pink Flamingo Arden. And in fact Morgan is within DRS of James, so coming up towards turn 1 is Morgan looking to see if he can get a move done on James. He looks like he could be close enough actually. So let's see, we're right on board with Morgan. He has got DRS, he is gaining on him. James is moving all the way over towards the right. Let's see, James goes defensive on Morgan. Is he going to be able to keep this move? He is going to hold it, and that is still P3 for James, but we have this other DRS straight that is coming up, and I'm unsure this is where Morgan prevails on him. Morgan going around the outside of James. I don't think James holds it too much, and that's now Morgan up into P3. So nicely done from Morgan. Now he's going to be trying to chase down his teammate, who's only 6 seconds up the road. We have got another 4 laps to go. So we'll see if if Morgan does manage to catch up with his teammate. It's yellows in sector 1. Who is that? It's Velocity has gone round. His teammate is well up ahead of the road, but Velocity, I don't know if he's broke any of his wing or not. We'll see. If he comes into the pits, then we definitely know he's broken his wing, but I said we'll have to wait and see for now. Sarja is only 7 tenths behind Robber. Is got his DRS. Has he got it open? No, he doesn't. Surprisingly. Robber tries to go defensive from Sarja. Robber just sort of still staying up ahead of Sarja, but Sarja has got the DRS, got it wide open now. Trying to catch Robber. I don't think he'll be able to get this done going up towards turn 4, so he probably just have to wait another lap, or maybe even the next DRS straight. I said he's on a soft compounder tyre, so you want to try and get this move done pretty quickly, just to avoid any collisions or any carnage going on. But Morgan now has set the fastest lap. Remember, if you do get the fastest lap in the F2, I believe you get an extra 2 points. Yeah, fastest lap is 2 points, so I think that's no matter where you are. So even with Morgan being in third, puts him on what, 17 points? So it would be good to see. Jim has actually just joined the session. I think Jim is in the F2 Championship, isn't he? I'm alright. Yeah, so Jim is he is part of the F2 league. He's just trying to see if he can make the second race. I don't see why I wouldn't let him race the second race. Don't see why not. But anyway, Sarja now closer than ever to getting a move done on Robber. This is for a single point position. His yellow's in sector 2, but Sarja trying to go down the inside of Robber. He's not going to get the move done. He's just going to stay behind him for now. Might be the smartest thing to do because we have got the next DRS straight that is coming up now. So Sarja back in DRS. Is he going to be able to get a move done on Robber? He isn't, and I believe I've just seen Tam in the background of that. So Tam looking to see if he can lap these two guys here. Saying that Sarja just has a little bit of a spin, completely compromised it, and now he's got it all to make up again on Robber. I haven't even checked the penalties, but I'm not too sure what these guys have got penalty-wise, so I think we'll keep it that way. Have a little bit of a surprise at the end. But with that, yeah, look, Tams is sort of coming up to the back of these guys. So we'll see Morgan is now only within 2 seconds of his teammate. 2 laps ago, he was only 6 seconds, so he's made up 2 seconds a lap. So is Morgan going to be able to get past his teammate? I believe, from what I've seen from penalties, I believe Morgan has more penalties than what RJ does. But just in that sector alone, he's made up 8 tenths. He's 2 seconds behind him. Look, the gap is just decreasing every single time I see it. He's now almost within the DRS range of him. So RJ's got to crank it up a notch if he wants to try and stay out ahead of his teammate. Unless there's a little bit of team orders that go on and Morgan, RJ just sort of lets Morgan through. He's now 6 tenths behind him. Literally, it has been basically 2 seconds a lap. Here we go, let's see. Morgan, DRS is now open. Is he going to be able to get past his teammate? Is RJ going to just allow him to go through? Oh, he's got to be careful. He doesn't come into the back of him, which is good. But he is right on his tail. And I'm assuming the pair of them probably just got corner cut and warnings for that. RJ going defensive on his teammate. Now looking to go around the outside of his teammate. Is he going to be able to get a move done? He's on the softer compounder tyre. And I think that is Morgan. That is a move done for Morgan. Oh, maybe not. They're both still side by side. RJ going very defensive on that. But I think that's the move done, unless RJ tries to go for a solid move down the inside of the hairpin. He doesn't, so Morgan now up into P2. And at the right time now, but if I am right in saying I think he's got maybe 2 seconds of penalties more than what RJ does, so he's going to want to try and do the gaps that he has been doing in the past. But this guy right here, Tand, is 21 seconds up the road from the next car. And I think he knows that we're watching because he decides to have a little bit of a weave on the second to last straight. But we have got one more lap to go still. And as I said, 20 seconds up the road from the next car. That's just insane. That is just insane. But we're on the final lap now for the first of 2 races. Obviously, this one being the 50% race. Next one being the sprint race, which is 25%, which I believe is only 8 laps. But is Tam actually going to be able to lap Sarja? I think he sees him in his sight. Let me just have a look. Whereabouts is Sarja? Let's see. So Sarja's just come out of the exit of the S's. There's Tam in the background there. So Sarja's still not able to get past Robber. Ivo is only 4 attempts behind Cloudy Cloud. So is Ivo going to get a move done? This will be for P7 as well. RJ already 1.5 seconds behind Morgan, so he's already made that gap rapidly. Let's see, will Ivo get a move done for P7? Will Sarja get his move done to get into the points? Will Tam lap him? He's driven a solid race. No stoppages or anything. He's done that insanely, and you know, he should have point blank dominated it. The other guys have made mistakes, and that's him. He hasn't made a single mistake, and that's how he's ended up 15 seconds ahead, and he has won the first F2 Grand Prix in Bahrain. Congratulations to Tand. Meanwhile, in the back, we have got to see this. Morgan, has he made the 2-second gap? He has. Is he going to go ahead? He still does. RJ had more penalties than him, so Morgan finishes in P2, despite having a spin and going down at the last at the beginning of the race. So nicely done to him. RJ, his teammate, in P3. James finishing in P4 in the Arden. Racing at home. Looking like that will be P5. So nicely done to Racing at home. Had a 5-second on the third time penalty, but that's not going to affect it. Either way, velocity being 24 seconds behind him. So nicely done to Racing at home. It's battle for P7, Ibo and Cloudy Cloud. Will Ibo get past him? We are sticking on board with him. Ibo goes very wide coming out of the penultimate corner, so I think that is going to compromise it, and I think that is going to be it for him. I don't think Ibo is going to be able to get a move done on Cloudy Cloud, and I believe Ibo is just going to have to stay in P8 unless he has penalties. Whereas yellows, who's the yellows? It is Sarja. He's got a puncture. We've only 8 laps. There we go. Ibo had one more penalty than what Cloudy Cloud had, so Ibo stays in P8. Dan, P9. Is Robert going to stay P10? Yeah, Robert is in P10. Sarja, unfortunate for him, having that puncture. Very unfortunate. Barely 10. I think he's got his wing missing as well. Got very, very wide. That was part of his wing that was missing as well. So Sarja in the final position in P11. Unfortunately for him getting the puncture as well last lap. 8 laps in though, you wouldn't have thought that there would be a puncture at all. So that is quite surprising, but congratulations to Tamd for winning the first race in the Carlin car. And the 2 Dams drivers just behind him in P2 and P3. So here you go, Morgan is the one that picked up the fastest lap, so he will get the extra 2 points. So Tand winning the first race. Oh, in fact, there you go. There's the results weekend. So that was actually the feature race. So that was the 50% race. So Tamt P1, 25 points. Morgan in second with 20 points. RJ in third, getting the 15 points. So good points positions for Dams. James in fourth, Racing at Home in fifth, with Velocity in sixth, Cloudy Cloud in seventh, Ibo in eighth, Dan in ninth, with Robert rounding out the top 10, getting that final points position, and unfortunate for Sargent, but finishing in P11. And the only non-finisher of the first race was indeed Big W. And now we just wait for the second race to start. In fact, Morgan got... Yeah, there you go. It does say he did get the fastest lap, so... Now we just wait for the sprint race to load up. Racing at Home saying hashtag points for reverse grid poll. So it is going to be a reverse grid. So I think because June joined last, he might be up in pole. If that's the case, then that's just unfair because June's probably the fastest one out of all of these guys here. No offense to everyone else, but yeah. But remember the order. If I was right, who was it that was last? Cloudy Cloud. So Cloudy Cloud would probably be first or second. Ibo just behind him. I think Racing at Home was in 10th. Or Robber. Might be Robber actually. But we'll see. We'll see. Let's have a look. So I think Ibo on pole. Cloudy Cloud in second with Velocity third. Racing at Home fourth. James in fifth. RJ sixth. Morgan in seventh. Tamd in 8th, Dan in 9th, Robert in 10th, Joom in 11th, and somehow Joom 13th, even though there's not 13 drivers. Only the top 8 drivers get reversed. Ah, I see, okay. Oh, that makes sense, yeah. So, Ibo, leading a formation lap. Has already gone out well ahead of the other guys just ahead of him, and it looks like Velocity has spun it on the formation lap. He's done what I like to call a fuzz. And has spun it on the formation lap. But Racing at Home complaining that they're on the softs. Is everyone on the softs? Racing at Home the only one on the softs. Why is he the only one on the softs? Bit of an odd one. Definitely a bit of an odd one. I don't know why I keep on trying to enable telemetry because it doesn't show up. Did Morgan have a spin on the formation lap as well? He has. Guys now have just lined up to get the sprint race underway as we just wait for the other guys at the back to get lined up. And then we'll await the 5 red lights. In fact, there's only 6 laps. And here we go. Ibo will be the one to lead it off with the 5 red lights, and away they go. Ibo got actually a really good start with Velocity also getting a better start just over Cloudy Cloud. In fact, he's had a massive off and has just smacked into, I think it was one of the Dam's driver. and is down already into third, shoving his way past through everyone else. Ibo looks like he's got the cleanest start out of everyone and has already made his way well ahead of everybody. So Cloudy Cloud has just allowed everybody else to, well, basically get smacked. I don't know whose wing was the one that came off, but is now back down into last. But we've got a lot of midfield action going on. Dan sweeping around the outside of James. In fact, Dan looks like he's also made up a massive amount of places. James, I think, has lost part of his front wing. Has Joom? I don't think Joom has. Would it have been RJ then? I'm not too sure. But Joom, looking to go on the inside of James, it was a very daring move. Has completely messed up his run and is given RJ the opportunity to try and get past him, but not able to do so. Tammed having a little touch in the back of RJ. Not able to get past Morgan now, only 3 tenths just behind Ivo. Ivo's still leading this race at the moment. It is only a 6-lap race, so these guys are going to want to try and get past each other as quick as they possibly can. But we'll see Dan just only just behind racing at home. And Ibo's had an off. Oh, that was close. I need to see this from Ibo's point of view if he actually hit someone. Let's have a look. He did have an off. He did hit someone, so Ivo has got a bit of wing damage. And that's everyone that's now gone past him once again. Oh, it's unfortunate for Ivo. He had a really good start as well. And James is out. Oh, where's James binned it then? He's binned it out of the final corner. Oh dear. Dan and racing at home both side by side going in towards turn 1. A really crap camera angle once again, but Dan, I think, has managed to get the move done on racing at home. Racing at home having a little bit of a wobble, but Jim is also just behind racing at home. This guy is battling for P2. Racing at home looks like he's got a much better traction run out of turn 3. Looking to go down the inside of Dan, and racing at home takes back that P2. But not only that, Joom is looking to try and see if he can snag P3 from Dan as well, but not able to do so. So, I could be wrong actually. Joom looking to go back down the inside after the S's, but not going to be able to get a move done. Dan has a massive lock-up, and it's actually RJ who's missing a major part of his front wing, but he is hanging on with these guys up ahead of him. But we have this massive train that's formed up for P2 all the way down to P9, should I say. All of these guys just sticking with each other. It is only the second lap, I understand that, out of the 6-lap race, but Morgan's already moved 4 seconds ahead of racing at home. And I think he's already run away with it unless he does what he done on the last race and end up sort of binning it, which I hope he doesn't. But RJ, Tammed, both side by side of each other. Sarja running very wide coming out of the penultimate corner, but RJ looking to see if he can go maybe back around the outside of Tammed with half that front wing. It's definitely a task to do, but I think he's just going to stay behind the Carlin driver. But maybe because of that front wing breakage, I guess you could call it, he is going to have less downforce, more downforce, should I say. So he might try and get the move done and is not able to do so. Meanwhile, Joom, in fact, RJ has gone off. It's once again at turn 3. He'd done that last time and he's just been disqualified for looking the wrong way. Even though he just had a spin. And there's another driver that's just gone into the spin. That was Velocity. Again at turn 4 as well. No, it's not good. Not good for them drivers, but Dan, Tammed, Joom, Sarja all battling for this final podium spot. Joom has done a good job moving from last up into 3rd position. Is he going to be able to chase down racing at home and Morgan for maybe even the top step of this podium? We will have to wait and see, as Tammed is all over the back of Dan and Sarja is all over the back of Tammed. So we're looking like it's going to be an interesting, very interesting race between these guys for P3. Sarja running a little bit wide once again at the penultimate corner. Doesn't look like it's compromised his run whatsoever though. well. Dan's just had a spin coming out of the final corner. Dan was running quite well, but Sargent now got DRS on Tan. Tan has also got the DRS open, but not the slipstream anymore as Dan has spun. Sargent now trying to go down the inside of Tan in towards turn 1. They're still side by side. Tan trying to hold down the inside, and that is move done. And Sargent's now also just spun out of turn 2. So Robber now up into P5. Tan still in P4 for now, but Juma just picked himself up a 2-second time penalty. So Tand is now technically still in P3, but Jum's going to have to try and get a... Well, he's going to have to do well to try and see if he can stay up ahead of Tand in this sprint race. Morgan already 5.5 seconds up the road from racing at home. And Jum looking to catch racing at home quite quickly, but Tand is looking like he's gaining on Jum even faster. As Jum has a little bit of a lock up and a bit of a spin coming out of the hairpin. He's going to compromise his run, going to give Tan the DRS and the straight line speed on the Spaniard. In fact, Dan has just got past Ibo, and Ibo's got past Sarja. But Ibo, I don't think he's done yet. I think he's got DRS on Dan and wanting to try and get past him. Looking to go down the inside of Dan and not able to do so. Ibo just staying in P8 for now. But back up his battle for podium position. As long as Tam doesn't do anything wrong, doesn't get a warning or a corner cutting penalty, he stays in P3. In fact, he's going straight down the inside of June. And that's move done. Fair enough. So June now down into 4th. Tam has got the DRS, but June has got the slipstream. And it looks like the slipstream is going to help him massively. June trying to go around the outside of Tam. Is he able to get a move done? No, he isn't. And he just sort of parks it on the apex. So Tam now up into P3. Has a little bit of a wobble. And Jum's just spun it on turn 2 as well. So Robber, just from not doing anything, is now up into 4th. Cloudy Cloud's back up into 5th. Oh, Jum was doing so well. He was doing so well as well. Unfortunate for him, to say the least. Sarja has gotten past Velocity. I will try and switch that as fast as I can. Just having a bit of a controller issue at the moment. But let's have a look. Velocity, yeah, now down into 10th. Sarja getting past it now up into 9th. And Tam is already a second behind racing at home. So is Tam going to be able to pass racing at home? Maybe going in towards the final lap. Morgan is already 8 seconds ahead, and I think has just completely run away with this. Took advantage of all those guys just sort of spinning behind him. Guys battling as well, and I said just completely run away with it. Although racing at home is gaining on him a little bit. But now Tam already in DRS range of the Trident car. There's yellows in sector 2. I don't know who that is. Is that June? No, Ibo? Sarja? It's Sarja. He's just going well off the track. But also Velocity. So the both of them, I don't know what's happened to the both of them, but Tam is already past racing at home. It's now the final lap. Is Tam able to go around the outside of racing at home? If he does, it's a brilliant move, and he has. So what a move from Tam on the final lap, getting past racing at home. Racing at home trying to see if he can go back around the outside of Tand, coming in towards turn 3. Have a little bit of a collision. Oh, they still touch. Tand, I think he just had to let that go. I think he didn't mean to hit him and compromise his run a little bit. So racing at home now back up into 2nd place. But I don't think Tand is one of being done with that. I think he's going to be a bit annoyed more than anything. Jum and Dan also going side by side of each other out of turn 4. Got his freeway battle for P5, I believe. Yeah, between the two art cars and Jum in the Russian time car. But let's see, Tand is already back past racing at home. Racing at home trying to go down the inside once again of Tand, and has been able to do so. Now, is racing at home going to be able to keep this P2? We'll have to wait and see. Meanwhile, this battle back for P5. Dan, Jum, don't think able to get past Dan, and I don't think Dan's able to get past his teammate of Cloudy Cloud. So, I think that might be how it has to stay. But Tam is just behind racing at home. But, oh! Cloudy Cloud's dropped back. Cloudy Cloud's just binned it, but Morgan has just crossed the line. Sorry, I've just missed that. Morgan crossed the line and has won the sprint race for Bahrain. So he has won the second race. Tammed has not been able to get past Racing at Home, but he has had a penalty. So Racing at Home finishes in third. Tammed coming in second. Robber manages to finish in fourth. I think June is finishing sixth with Dan. June finishing in sixth with Dan finishing in fifth. Cloudy Cloud seventh. In fact, Ibo comes seventh with Cloudy Cloud in eighth, having that extra penalty. Sarja and Velocity. This is a very good battle between the pair of them. Sarja going down the inside of Velocity, but Velocity's going to have the better attraction coming out of the final corner. Who's going to be the one that finishes in ninth? Is it Velocity? Is it Sarja? They're both side by side of each other. I don't know who got it. Sarja. I don't know if Velocity. I think Velocity may have had an extra penalty than what Sarja did. But both side by side coming out of the final corner. Wow. that was very close. But the three Brits on the podium. Congrats to Morgan for winning the sprint race. Tammed for that amazing drive back into second, with Racing at Home getting that final podium position in third. Due to having that penalty. So here we are, there's final classification for the sprint race. We have Morgan that have managed to win it and actually got the fastest lap once again. So he gets that other extra 2 points once again. So now Morgan getting those 17 points, Tammed getting 12 points. I think it was supposed to be 10 all the way down at the end. So I think that puts Morgan on 12, Tammed on 8, with Racing at Home on 6, Robert on 5, Dan 4, June 3, Ibo 2, and Cloudy Cloud on 1 extra point. Sarja, Velocity, James, and RJ unfortunately didn't manage to get their points, but what about at the end between Sarja and Velocity? But that will do for the first round of the F2 Championship. I didn't manage to catch the points at the end of it either, but I believe Morgan is the one that is on the most amount of points. Well, him and Tammed are both tied on the most amount of points. I mean, Tammed had 25 to start off with, but Morgan having 20. And then another 17 points went to him. Oh no, so Morgan is ahead. Ignore me, yeah, Morgan is ahead. So, no. No, disregard it, sorry. Tammed is ahead. Tammed is ahead, leading it now. The first round for the F2 Championship. But thank you everyone for watching. I know it was a little bit longer than what it usually is. You know, 30-minute qualifying with 50%er and a 25%er, but that's just obviously how it goes with F2. As I said, thank you very much everyone for watching, and we'll catch you next week for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.